Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Paragon guide. I am Sylphin. Wraith is a terribly meta pick at the moment, and here is my deck and guide for him as a carry. Whether you want to play him as a carry, true carry in the carry lane, or in the mid lane. You can definitely go for that. If you're feeling really aggressive, you could try him in the solo lane. It's really all up to you. This is my deck. So to start off, you can go for Font of Experience to get that hero level, or Shipyard Scavenger if you really want, but I would suggest Font of Experience. You can maybe swap out Coin Master for Advanced Evolution for more sustain if you want, but Coin Master simply just lets you get those later cards going. Shipyard Scavenger, hopefully you can really pressure your lane and get some kills, and that really starts to do something really well. Flame Possession just helps. It becomes a free card if you need it. It is there for some good farm. Pack Leader is a very interesting card. I think it's a little bit underrated because 8 power plus that active to make sure that your minions attack that target. It does a surprising amount. So this is the first card that you try to go for, and it curves into OPD Militia just a wee little bit and provides you that early game power. Power Tap is there for the extreme late game. Just if you're full agility and you got all of your gems, go for Power Tap. It is insane. Growth Totem is a card that you pick up and hold on for pretty much the entire game until absolute end build. You got Swift Hunter eventually as your first really true heavy hitting card. There isn't much to curve into it, but that is why you eventually get the Growth Totem, you get Pack Leaders, Shipyard Scavenger, Font of Experience to help curve you in the hero level department while you aren't necessarily curving in the economy department. Coursing Zephyr is an option if you want some attack speed and that Purify for some movement speed. It is an option if you just need to escape if you're getting a lot of pressure in your lane. OPD Militia is a card that you eventually go for, but only after your mana generator gem. And then we also have Trapper as an extreme late game option as you want one of the tribe immediately after OPD Militia, using other cards such as Coursing Zephyr and Swift Hunter to curve into it once again. In terms of the gem department, Improved Killing Blows, it's just a throw-in card as we have Quick Exit. We could certainly get Onslaught, and that is kind of up to you if you want to get Onslaught. His abilities are pretty darn good, so you could definitely go for that. Fast Travel, it is, I think it's underestimated. We're using OPD Militia, so Ruthless may not do too much as a large portion of our damage is OPD Militia. So I've gone for Fast Travel. You can catch up to people, back them up, you escape people. It is, I think it's really highly underrated. Mana Generator, absolutely mandatory if we are using OPD Militia, and so that we have sustain if we want to snipe all the time. So you can always sniping while basic attacking to restore that mana really is powerful. Duelist, it just helps so we can deal damage if people are diving your backline, diving you can deal Duelist and kind of hopefully just kind of do that. I mean, the other options in here, Empowered Rounds may be a good option. Piercing Basic again doesn't really do it does stuff, but we're using OPD Militia, so I've chosen Duelist as the best option here. And Bounty Stalker. The more attacks that we can do, the better our attack speed, the better our power, which also feeds into our snipe and whatnot. Quick Exit, you can get out on the battlefield faster to get to your objectives. And of course, you can maybe go for Onslaught instead of Improved Killing Blows. Now, why do you pick Wraith? Well, right now, he's really strong, completely overtuned in my opinion, but he does tremendous basic attack damage, he does tremendous damage, he has tremendous utility, so really, there's no reason why not to pick Wraith. He, when used properly with a great support, he can be a fantastic carry with long-range poke and follow up with back it up into CC from your support, such as a Richter, which has been very meta previously. He's pretty much insane, needs rework in my opinion, but That's why you pick Wraith. He's really strong in the mid lane. You can play him right. Fantastic poke. You can out-duel your opponent with good basic attacks and snipes. He has great vision with one of his abilities. So really, there's kind of no reason why not to pick Wraith, especially if you have another true caster on your team. If your support is something like a Decker, like we have, who maybe has caster like abilities, I suppose. If your solo lane happens to be a pseudo caster, you can go with Wraith. If you don't need large AoE damage abilities or extreme long range damage poke or burst, that is when you pick Wraith. So here in the early game, what is your first ability that you get? Likely it's going to be your knock knock. Now it's a long range scope shot that penetrates geometry and deals sizable damage. Let's be honest. Power scaling is really good. The mana cost is okay, so you have to use it kind of quite sparingly. However, if you kill an enemy, a minion, it will refund its cost and reduce its cooldown, which is normally 5 seconds to 2 seconds when you kill a minion. So it's free, secured farm from afar, really. So if you are getting poked by mid lane casters, you can stay way back and last hit those minions with your knock knock, which is why he works well against casters in the mid lane. Against his Countess, I can really just harass her as much as I want, especially with my knock knock, and that is why, again, he works really quite well. Another ability you could start off with is your Q ability called Who's There. This launches a sonar ward that pings every 3 seconds to reveal enemy heroes for 4 to 10 seconds. It has no line of sight restriction, so it goes through geometry and persists for 1 minute. 25 mana cost, which means you have free wards almost all the time for almost no... There's no issue. You can use this all the time. You won't run out of mana. It's kind of quite ridiculous. The cooldown is 16 seconds. Another reason why you might want to use Onslaught Gem, and of course that obviously works well with Mana Generator. As you saw there just now, this is another one of his abilities called Back It Up. Marks an enemy hero to be teleported to his location from 3 seconds prior. Teleportation occurs after a short delay, and the range increases and decreases with ability level. So the more you upgrade Back It Up, the farther you can reach out on the battlefield to mark somebody to be backed up. So it's actually kind of quite important to upgrade your Back It Up. And in my opinion, when you are upgrading your abilities in the early game and throughout the match, it's a balance between upgrading your Back It Up for that extended range and your knock knock, your long range poke. The poke damage obviously is very important, but if you're just there's quite often you will run into a moment where you cannot back somebody up because they're not within range, and that's why it's important to make sure that you level up, Back It Up as much as needed, but your knock knock as much as needed as well. The next ability that you will get is Surprise Surprise, his ultimate. Wraith sends himself and nearby allies into the shadow plane and grants them a 15% movement speed boost for 8, 12, 16 seconds the more you level it up. The cooldown 140, 125, 110. Obviously that's very powerful, so it has a longer cooldown. Radius is 2200 units, basically almost, not really as far as you can see, but it's really substantial. You really don't have to be pretty darn close to your allies to put them into the shadow plane, giving them that movement speed boost. So don't hesitate to use it. And if you're worrying if you're not close enough, as long as you're relatively nearby your allies, it sends them into the shadow plane. And that's kind of a little bit of a issue with it, if you ask me. It has a little bit too far of an influence. This ability obviously is fantastic for ganking, but usually you find yourself using it to escape, especially if there are ganks, if there is a bad engagement. Pop this, boom, and you are out. Just make sure not to basic attack, as this can save your allies. This saves your allies, saves your team, saves you, and that's one of the issues with Wraith. Especially in the duo lane, if there's a gank coming, pop your ultimate. Safe. He's almost ungankable with his wards, with his vision, and even if he does get ganked, you just surprise, and you're free. So use this tool to be incredibly elusive and basically ungankable. Here is a great example of back it up to put this Chimera back into the tower. Unfortunately, the team can't follow it up there, as I finished the kill there on the Countess. Unfortunately, can't really seem to get this Chimera. Again, that knock-knock is fantastic to use on long-range heroes that are running away, or just to secure the kill and make sure you can get that farm. Now, Wraith has a very dualistic nature, quite interestingly. If you can harass the enemy enough and make sure that you don't use too much of your mana, what you can do is actually make people commit to a engagement that actually ends up being not favorable for them. So what you do is you whittle them down in health, and then you commit to them enough so that when you back them up, like we just did with this Wukong, you actually end up killing them because you put them 3 seconds to their location prior, and you can kill them like we just did with this Wukong. So there is sort of this transactional nature to Wraith that makes him so dang good. All you have to do is know when you can win your trade, and then boom, you just got to commit to it, back people up, and all of a sudden you have won your trade. So that's what makes Wraith really powerful in the right hands, because you just kind of whittle and you poke at your enemy until there comes a time when you know you can confirm the kill, and then boom, you just kind of convert, you back it up, your knock-knock, and a couple basics, and you have the kill secured. Now, in the early game, like we said, Font of Experience right off the bat gives you that hero level that is really nice. I've been rotating lots, haven't really been in lane too much. Yes, I have, but I am level 9, while the Countess here is level 8, and she has Font of Experience. And as you can see, level 9 to the Revenant 6, 6, and 6. Hero levels have been slowly getting more and more powerful here in Paragon, and it is something I need to think about more, and you should too. Hero levels are actually really important now in Paragon, and don't underestimate that. So here in this deck guide, what we're doing is we're kind of relying on that hero levels to kind of curve us into that first high-powered card. In this engagement, you can see I'm trying to stay safe here and use my basics and my pokes to deal to deal that damage. And as you can see, it is actually pretty darn good. The hero levels are really giving us good basic damage. He has good basic damage increase per hero level, which is obviously a big deal. We're hero level 10 now, while the pack leader giving us 8 power is both great on our basic attack and our knock-knock, and the coin master giving us that that economy even when we're not in lane, or even when we still are in lane. So the early game is very interesting. Improved killing blows will help us as well. Quick exit for more sustain. And you just got to use Wraith's utility and that transactional nature to your advantage. Now here in engagements, you are a powerful tool, giving vision for people coming into the engagement. You make sure to use your Q to put some wards down so that you can't get ganked. As you can see here, the damage is substantial, especially now that we have our Swift Hunter. Make sure to confirm kills like I just did with my knock-knock there on that Muriel, and I chose to confirm the kill there on that Chimera just to make sure my team doesn't stay in the tower too long. He is powerful, especially now that we have Swift Hunter and Growth Totem. It'll just continue to skyrocket in farm, and as you can see, it's starting to get pretty darn good. Make sure that you use back it up very importantly, to secure kills and secure advantages like we did there. I'm not even sure I needed to use back it up, but especially on that Muriel Chimera that may have been able to have gotten away, back it up really powerful, but you're still squishy. You're very much still squishy. Back it up didn't save me there. Here is an example of securing the kill. I thought maybe we could get this Muriel without using my back it up, but I was forced to use my back it up to make sure that we secured the kill. That is what makes Wraith so powerful, is that what otherwise would have gone unpunished or, you know, unutilized, you can very easily secure that. And, you know, in higher elos and, you know, in higher skilled matches, when players know that they can follow things up and confirm things, that is why Wraith has seen, even before his buff, such success, which makes me very ponderous as to why they exactly buffed him. After Swift Hunter, you already have the 2 points into knowledge and or intellect. So curving into OPD isn't too bad. You simply get the 8 and 8 agility, which gets you your mana generator, and then a few points into intellect, and you have OPD militia. Boy, does it do work. We just completely destroyed Fangtooth. That Countess really didn't stand a chance, and again, the back it up can be used as a safe way to save your allies. Now, that damage from OPD militia, I mean, this is a squishy Countess, but yeah, it does a lot. The thing is, you gotta be accurate with your basic attacks, and as you can see here, I'm trying to hit this Muriel, but like, I am missing absolutely everything. The damage is real. The power feeds into his knock-knock, the growth totem feeds into it, Swift Hunter feeds into it, and again, back it up is tremendous. The Swift Hunter, another good thing about that is it gives you movement speed when you kill things, and boy, that can really work well. Again, Onslaught may be a really good gem, so you can use back it up a little bit more often, maybe secure the kill on that Revenant, but hey, that's alright. Like, just look at this damage. Yeah, and you got your ultimate to just walk away, which, a little replay back here, it's exactly what I'm doing. Now, you eventually upgrade your Swift Hunter to one of the tribe, because you will be grouping up with your allies. That additional 15 power for everybody is insane, and as you can see here, the chunking that we are doing with these heroes is astronomical. The power is just ridiculous. The high attack speed that you get anyways feeds in really well with the power that you get from that on your basic attack, and your OPD militia with mana generator just adds onto it. It's absolutely insane, and this Revenant here tries to duel me, and well, he doesn't last very long at all. It's really quite phenomenal what you do here. One of the tribe, OPD militia, and then growth totem. Eventually, you may want to take that out for something like Trapper. You could maybe put Swift Hunter, but I would recommend Trapper instead. Or just leave growth totem on and scale forever. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. There you guys have it. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it, share it with the community, of course. Guys, subscribe. You guys like this content, especially if you found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Please check my video description for links to my website, merchandise store, Amazon affiliate links, as well as all my social media right here. Guys, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, Twitch subscribers, and YouTube sponsors for going out of the way, helping me out, and making these videos possible. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.